Tonight, the deadly plane crash, and will any passenger jets be grounded here in the U.S.? This evening, Boeing's response, what they're saying now. After a new Boeing 737 crashes, killing all 157 people on board. Several Americans on board. The pilot's distress call, what they reportedly said, crashing just 6 minutes after takeoff. Other countries tonight grounding that plane. Breaking news as we come on, what House Speaker Nancy Pelosi just said about President Trump and impeachment. It's making news. The president's record budget proposal tonight, billions for his border wall, cuts to education, the EPA, and what about Medicare and Medicaid? Our correspondent also asking, what about the growing debt? We're watching a major storm tonight about to sweep across the country, bracing for damaging winds. Rob has the timing and the track of this all the way east. The parents' horror with spring break here, their son, a college student, dying falling from a 7th-floor hotel balcony. The major bust tonight here in the New York City area, and the shipping container that said dried fruit. What was hidden behind it, the stunning reveal. The final push against ISIS in Syria, U.S.-backed forces, the firefight, and tonight our team is right there. Here at home, the deadly and fiery collision on the highway, the truck slamming into a dozen vehicles. And the Jaguar attack at the zoo. The visitor reportedly leaning over the wall, trying to take a selfie, but the Jaguar lunges through the fence.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to start another week with all of you at home. And we begin tonight with the deadly plane crash, the new Boeing jet that went down overseas, a Boeing 737 MAX 8, their newest and most in-demand jet ever built, crashing to Earth just 6 minutes after takeoff in Ethiopia. And take a look at this image tonight, because investigators say that relatively small crater right there speaks volumes about how fast that jet was coming down. You can see the burn scar across the field. The plane shattered in pieces along with fragments of what people carried with them. 157 people on board, including 8 Americans. No one survived this. Tonight, the first clues now coming in. And as other countries ground this jet, will the jets be grounded here in the U.S.? Boeing's new response tonight. ABC's Matt Gutman leads us off from Ethiopia, where American investigators had just now arrived.
This heap of twisted metal scraps, all that remains of Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302. And tonight, investigators race to analyze those crucial flight recorders to find out why the plane carrying 157 souls fell out of the sky. Excavators digging for debris in the crater. Many first responders picking through the dirt and passengers' personal effects by hand. From the ground, beyond the singed grass, that debris field. From above, the sheer force with which the doomed plane nosed into the earth is clear. The victims from 35 different countries, including 8 Americans. The weather was clear when Flight 302 took off from Addis Ababa at 8:38 a.m. Sunday morning, but there was trouble from takeoff. The pilot radioing the tower saying he was struggling to control the plane, asking to return to the airport. Then, just 6 minutes into its journey to Nairobi at 8:44 a.m., the jet disappeared from radar. Witnesses describing smoke coming from the rear of the plane before it crashed.
The only thing we know for sure about this airplane is right after takeoff, the airplane was porpoising, going up and down.
This is the second catastrophic crash involving Boeing's popular 737 MAX 8 aircraft. In October, a MAX 8 operated by Indonesia's Lion Air crashed into the Java Sea, also minutes after takeoff. In that crash, the pilots failed to disengage the autopilot when bad data engaged a nose-down dive. There were no survivors.
Absolutely critical that the black boxes that were recovered get read immediately so we can figure out whether this was a problem with the airplane that affects the fleet worldwide.
Among the dead, Melvin and Bennett Riffle. From Redding, California, 2 brothers on vacation.
So let's bring in Matt Gutman. He's live in Ethiopia tonight. And Matt, I know you just learned that the FAA and NTSB, American investigators, are in fact now on the scene there.
That's right, David, and we're told they intend to stay through the night. Now, one of the things they'll do is examine the crash site itself. They'll look at possible engine problems and, of course, pilot history. But the Ethiopians remain the lead investigative body right now. What's incredible about this crash site, though, is how compact it is. It could fit in the size of a small, large hotel lobby, and that's because of that steep descent. Most of the parts of the plane, David, remain buried in the dirt.
All right, Matt Gutman leading us off tonight. Matt, thank you. As I mentioned at the top tonight, 3 countries have ordered airlines to ground those new Boeing 737s. But tonight here in the U.S., 3 airlines continue to fly them. What Boeing and the FAA are now saying, and the flight attendants union tonight now saying that their attendants do not have to fly on these jets if you don't feel safe. ABC's David Curley on that part of the story now.
First Indonesia, now Ethiopia. The 2 crashes of the brand new version of the 737 so close together that some passengers are asking airlines if they're booked on a MAX 8.
I would be a little leery about flying that Boeing plane.
72 of the MAXs are flown by U.S. carriers, all 3 airlines expressing confidence in the jet. Southwest telling us it's had some calls from customers, but not a high number of cancellations. The Union for American Airlines flight attendants reminding its members that if they feel unsafe, you will not be forced to fly it. While at least 18 airlines around the world have grounded nearly a third of the fleet of delivered MAXs, the FAA tonight saying no action is necessary. There is no evidence to require a grounding.
I think I would just trust the people that made the plane that it was going to be fine.
So tonight they're saying no action necessary. David Curley live at Reagan National Airport. I know, David, some are wondering why perhaps the FAA might not ground the planes, at least until data from the black boxes can be analyzed. But so far, no move from Boeing or the FAA.
And that's because they have no indication that the first crash is related to the second. There is no evidence that they can actually use to ground the aircraft, and the Boeing CEO says his aircraft are safe.
David Curley with us tonight as well. David, thank you. Meantime, to breaking news from Washington, what House Speaker Nancy Pelosi just said a short time ago about President Trump and impeachment, saying the president isn't worth it. And the other major news, the president's budget proposal making news tonight because of what's in it and what's not. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl now.
Nancy Pelosi has no problem being the president's chief nemesis.
You should not have a Trump shutdown. You have the White House a Trump shutdown.
But today, for the first time, the Speaker of the House flatly declared she is against impeaching President Trump, telling the Washington Post, "I'm not for impeachment. Unless there's something so compelling and overwhelming and bipartisan, I don't think we should go down that path, because it divides the country, and he's just not worth it." This comes as the White House rolled out a new record-shattering budget proposal, more than $4.7 trillion in federal spending next year alone, and trillions more in debt over the next decade, something candidate Trump promised he wouldn't do.
Here's a beauty. So, in 8 years, our national debt has doubled. It's going to more than double by the time it gets out. Look at that. It'll be at $20 trillion. Great job. Great job, Obama.
He also promised that he would eliminate the national debt within 8 years. And as you know, the debt at the end of his first year was at $20 trillion. Last year it went to $21 trillion. Last month, $22 trillion. So what happened to that promise? I mean, the president has added historically large numbers to the national debt instead of keeping a promise to actually pay it off.
Look, again, the last administration nearly doubled the national debt, and when this president ran for office, he made a commitment to the American people that he would attempt to tackle the debt within 8 years.
But he's added $2 trillion, more than $2 trillion to the national debt.
He also came into office and had an economic recovery that was needed to put people back to work.
The new budget calls for $750 billion in defense spending next year, a 5% increase, and $8.6 billion for the wall on the Mexican border, $3 billion more than the president asked for last year. There are also cuts to Medicaid and student loans and changes to Medicare. Also, a 31% cut for the Environmental Protection Agency next year alone. Democrats pronounced the whole thing dead on arrival.
Let's bring in John Karl. He's live at the White House asking about the debt there at the White House today and promises made when the president was a candidate. But, John, I did want to get back to what House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said late today, that she's not for impeachment. As we all know, some House Democrats, particularly some of the freshmen, have been very enthusiastic, very keen at the prospect of impeachment proceedings. She's the leader, though. So what's behind her going public tonight? What's her political calculation here?
David, it's a reflection of political reality. There simply are not the votes to impeach the president and remove him from office. And Nancy Pelosi would much rather run against a wounded and heavily investigated Donald Trump than wage a lost cause effort to remove him from office through impeachment.
All right, John Carl, on a very busy day at the White House. John, thank you. We turn next tonight to a major new storm about to sweep across the country, all the way east, and it's going to bring damaging winds in the coming hours. Rob has the track. It comes after 11 tornadoes across the south, this one ripping off rooftops in Spring Hill, Louisiana. Incredible pictures there. This new storm hits the Midwest, then it heads all the way east. As I mentioned, let's get right to meteorologist Rob Marciano, tracking it all for us again this week. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. It's a powerful, slow-moving storm with blizzard warnings already up in the plains. It's a closed low over Baja California. Check it out. High wind warnings also posted for Oklahoma City, and we've got flood watches that have been expanded into Minneapolis. But a severe weather threat, that's to start tomorrow. Then the low gets cranking during the day on Wednesday. That's when blizzard conditions may ensue in eastern Colorado. 50 to 60 mile an hour winds with the snow blowing sideways, 6 to 12 inches of snow, but heavy rain over snowpack in places like Minneapolis back through Des Moines. That's where we think we'll see some flooding. Eastern half of the country quiet, at least for now. That changes on Friday. David?
All right, Rob, it's going to affect the whole country as the week wears on. Thank you. Next tonight, to a parent's horror. It's that time of year. Spring break is now here, and tonight we've already learned of a college student plunging from the 7th floor balcony of his hotel in Cancun. What his girlfriend and what witnesses are now reporting tonight. And here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
Tonight, Mexican authorities investigating after a Michigan college student plunged to his death from a 7th floor balcony at this Cancun hotel. A tragic end to what was supposed to be a spring break getaway. The girlfriend of 19-year-old Ahmed Altai reportedly telling police he had been drinking and consuming toxic substances before his fatal fall. Crystal Herndon and her husband, who were staying on the same floor, say Altai looked upset earlier that night.
We opened our hotel door to see what the noise was and saw him, angrily pacing forward down the hallway and her trying to grab him to get him to sit down.
Another witness telling authorities Altai was running around the room, then jumped. His former classmates back in Dearborn, Michigan, now grieving.
I didn't even believe it. It just hurts. I'm just still in shock that he's gone.
And Mexican authorities say this is a private investigation and are not providing any further details. We did reach out to that hotel, David. They are not commenting.
It's a tough time of year when we start to hear those headlines. Ariel, thank you. We're going to turn now to the major bust right here in the New York City area and to the shipping container that said dried fruit on the outside. Investigators today then revealing what was hidden behind it. $77 million worth of cocaine and where it came from. Here's ABC's Gio Benitez.
The crates were labeled dried fruit, and they seemed to fill the shipping container. But authorities say it was all a front. Hidden behind those crates, 3,200 pounds of cocaine, $77 million worth, making this the biggest coke bust in the New York area in a quarter century. The massive stash discovered on a ship that traveled from Buenaventura, Colombia to Newark, New Jersey, a legal point of entry to the United States. Customs officials seized the illicit cargo, handing it over to the Department of Homeland Security, keeping it off the street. And David, we're told the DEA is now working to identify the source of those drugs. They're looking at several organizations, but they do expect to make arrests. David?
All right, Gio Benitez tonight. Thanks, Gio. We're going to turn overseas tonight into the final push against ISIS, their last hold on territory in Syria, at least. U.S.-backed forces moving in on their last stronghold. Tonight, our team not far from the front lines. James Longman, as you're about to see, using his phone tonight in very little light to report in. They, of course, do not want to draw attention with the fighting not far behind them. As tonight, this U.S.-backed effort now ramps up and nears its finish.
Tonight, the final push. Artillery and gunfire light up the sky, pounding the small village of Baghouz. All that's left of the so-called caliphate. Some 1,500 ISIS jihadis are holed up and surrounded.
This is as close as anyone gets to the front line in Baghouz. We can't have too much light to avoid being targeted ourselves, but you can see artillery fire coming from all sides on that tiny town. This is hoped finally the end of the so-called Islamic State in Syria.
Tonight, we understand there were at least 4 suicide bomb attempts against coalition troops. Dozens of ISIS fighters have been killed in return. As we race to the front line, you see the devastation everywhere. Neighborhoods abandoned, the price of liberation.
A big danger here is the network of tunnels. They run for miles underneath Baghouz, and that means ISIS fighters could literally just pop out of anywhere and launch surprise attacks.
ISIS occupied some of these towns less than a month ago. There are